according to the law. Yes, remember when you call, when we talk about what we call cancellation of ID or cancellation of your residence permit, yes, most of it is very important for you to understand the legal rights and the next step, because staying in the country without a valid ID, it's also illegal. Yes, hi guys, thank you so much for coming back. Remember, it's always Mex from the Mexcreationtv, trying to give you a guide living in Qatar and most of the basics that you should be able to understand. You're planning to come to Qatar your first time. Are you planning to relocate to this country? Some of these basics that definitely will help you to survive in these small Gulf countries. However, by the way, Sores Mex, don't hesitate to subscribe and don't hesitate to follow his account, YouTube account. I am Mex, where I talk about discovering the different places where you can enjoy free of charge. Mexcreationtv, Mexcreationtv at TikTok, Mexcreationtv at YouTube. Trying to give you most of this. Yes, someone was asking me a question regarding to what you call QID Cancelled. What you call your legal rights in Qatar. Yes, most of us, we've had situations whereby our QIDs are being cancelled either by our sponsors, and definitely we do not know what are our legal rights. We do not know what we are supposed to do after, and we do not know what is entitled to me after my QID is cancelled according to the law. Yes, remember when you call, when we talk about what we call cancellation of ID or cancellation of your residence permit, yes, most of it is very important for you to understand the legal rights and the next step, because staying in the country without a valid ID, it's also illegal. That is what I say. The hardest thing that you can have here in Qatar is staying in this country or staying in most of these Gulf countries without a valid residence permit. It's quite very absurd to some of you who are out there that you not even up to now, you don't have what you call valid ID. I know the kind of situation that you're going through every single day, but that is something that will give you hardship. It will not make you live like any other person. However, something that you need to understand, when we look at the labor law itself, it offers a wide round to you. Yes, have you been cancelled, or has your ID been cancelled by your sponsor or been cancelled? What are your rights? What are your rights in Qatar in case this ID is cancelled? Yes, most of you have been asking me in that kind of regard, that what are my rights when this ID is being cancelled? Yes, what you need to understand first of all, what is QID cancelled, or what does it mean that the QID is cancelled? When the QID is cancelled, that means that your residence permit has been officially terminated, and this can happen in very many situations. Why at some point or some situation, why your QID may cancel? Yes, some situation, your employer cancels your work visa. Yes, it can cancel your work visa, then you'll cancel your QID. Yes, your contract has ended and not renewed, your employer will cancel your QID. Yes, you have resigned and the grace period has passed. Yes, your QID will be cancelled. Then the company has closed or blacklisted, your QID will be cancelled. Yes, most of you will agree with me. You've been in those kind of situations where your companies have been blacklisted and closed, and definitely your QID or your residency is also being terminated. Yes, sometimes your QID, or at times your QID may be cancelled when you are reported absconding, or you broke what you call the immigration rules. So those kind of situations, you find that your QID will be cancelled. However, something that we need to understand, or something that we need to come in my mind, or something that we need to take or to understand, yes, your legal rights, even if the QID is cancelled, that is what we need to know. What are your legal rights? Yes, much as the employer sponsor cancels my QID, but what are the legal rights? What protects me as according to the law? Yes, according to the law, when your ID is cancelled, cancellation, you have 30 days of what we call the legal cancellation grace period. After your QID is cancelled and the ethical, you have what you call 30 days. Yes, you are legally allowed to stay in Qatar for up to 30 days after your QID is cancelled. During this period, you can transfer to a new sponsor, exit the country voluntarily, settle your dues, or file what you call complaints in case it is needed. That is what you call your legal rights. Yes, we have number 2. We look at what you call rights to transfer what you call sponsorship. If you are eligible to transfer sponsorship, then definitely you'll transfer. You are eligible to change transfer. If your contract ended and you've completed 1 full year with your employer, you can change your sponsor even if the QID cancellation, provided it is done within what we call the grace period. Use the MeTrash app, visit the Ministry of Labor for what we call the help. Then 3, we look at a right to file what you call a labor complaint. If your QID was cancelled unfairly and you have what you call unpaid salary or benefits, file a complaint with the Ministry of Labor Relations, or you can still file a case even if after your QID has been cancelled. The Labor Court may order compensation or may allow what you call transfer. Most of you will agree with me, you've gone through that kind of situations in one or the other. Let us try to look at what is another right for you to request. There's a right for you to request what you call an exit permit for free. You can exit, you can request to exit the country for free. Yes, you do not need a permission from your employer to exit Qatar. Once your QID is being cancelled, you can book your own flight ticket and live within what you call 30 days without what you call the penalty. Then also, once your QID is cancelled, you have the right to get what you call the financial settlement of what you call the end of service bonus. Yes, end of service gratuity if you are eligible. Unpaid salary, vacation balance, yes. Flight ticket to your home country if the employer is responsible. So those are some of the what you call the legal, those are some of the legal requirements I definitely should say. However, it should be noted that once your QID is cancelled and you surpass the 30 days, then you'll begin incurring what you call fines or incurring what you call an overstay charge of 10 riyal that you are supposed to be paying. And this also risks you of arrest, detention, and deportation, and may also lead you to what we call travel ban, banning you from re-enter the country. So still, even that situation, be aware of that kind of situation, that do not overstay once your QID has been cancelled and you surpassed what we call the 30 days in one way or the other. So most of the times, what could be the immediate action once you realize your QID is cancelled? Yes, most of the times I keep on telling you, for those that are absconded from using what you call the MeTrash, most of you are running away from MeTrash. You look at MeTrash as something, an app that definitely you cannot use, but it's a very, very important app. Yes, what should you do immediately when your ID is cancelled? These are my own tips from my own experience. I'll tell you. First of all, check the QID status from MeTrash or check what is the status. Is it cancelled? Then, if it is possible, ask the employer for what you call cancellation documents. Then, when you ask what you call cancellation documents, then secure a new job and process what you call change of sponsorship. Then, visit the labor offices for what you call cancellation. If it is illegal, then exit within what you call 30 days so that you don't be able to accrue what we call the fines. Hope I've tried to have something for you. For a person who was asking me the legal rights when your QID is cancelled in Qatar. Thank you so much. Remember, as always, Mex from the Mexcreation TV.